What's up, man? How's everything going, man?
Good, man. Can't complain. How you been?
I'm alright. So I stepped into the world of PA, being from New York. I never really thought of a PA car scene, honestly. I always thought of New York, Jersey, Connecticut. Never thought of PA. And then once I met you at that car show, it honestly changed everything. And now I'm like fully into PA car guys and their enthusiasts and their style. So what got you into cars?
Well, what got me into cars, I think kind of the same thing that everybody was doing around my age at that time when Fast and the Furious came out. And this is like '01, '02 when I was in high school, so I graduated in '03.
Right.
I used to ride BMX bikes all the time. So that was a cool thing. And then when all your buddies start to get cars and they're bringing the girls around and, you think, oh, I got to get a car. So I didn't really know much about it until right after I graduated, about '03, '04. My friend had a Supra and got in that car. Man, that was a world, different world,
That was your fastest car, huh?
Yeah, and it was an MK3, so it was I think it was a 90 or 91.
Okay.
Stock, but that was the first ride in that car I can remember up a couple miles from here. That got me hooked.
So
felt the power.
Super got you hooked.
Yeah, it was fun, man. And a couple of my friends from high school were car guys. I didn't really get into cars when I was younger, so everybody that starts with the muscle cars and the Camaros and the Mustangs from when I was younger, I never really was able to get into it. All my friends kind of had imports at Civics. Some of them have the same car from back then till this day. That's where I think all of my passion for it, but just a hobby really came out of it, and almost a lifestyle when we're younger, for the most part. If you don't have a family and you're a car guy, that is your personality, right, essentially, for a little part of your life, I think.
Okay. What was your dream car coming up? What was the car like, you know what, I want that car? Was it the Evo that we're standing right behind, or was it something else?
So it's a toss-up. It's going to be almost down the middle. It's going to be the Evo, and it's an MK4 Supra. Those are my two favorite cars. One of my good friends, he had one growing up, and before I knew him, I would see it driving around, and I just thought it was the coolest looking car. One of my other buddies got one of these in, I think, 2005. Remember, I was at work, and he stopped by my job. I was like, what the heck is this funny looking car, the wing on the back? And I drove around with him, and that was another one. So I think since '04, '05, it's been a Supra or an Evo. I think that's been my two favorite.
It's funny that you say that, because those are like the only two cars that I prefer to have the wing on. A lot of these cars I prefer wingless, to be very honest, but certain cars like, the Evo behind you, the Supra, Subaru, STI, those cars I feel like they get the pass for the wings.
Because they made them without it a lot.
Yeah.
Granted, the RS Evo didn't have one, but I had it off this one for 10 years, and I just put it back on last year when I...
It's been that long you had no wing?
Yeah, about 10 years, yeah.
Wow.
And I said, I'm getting older. I'll be 40 this year, so I want to feel like I'm not 40 anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe that's going to help me, I don't know.
So tell me the story about the Evo and how you got it and how far you came with it, and why do you still have it now?
So I bought this car in February of 2010. Again, that was the car for 5-6 years at that point that I was like, I gotta have. I got it, and two of my other friends had one at the same time. So it was really fun having a couple people that had the same car, do the same mods, had help on it. That was a really good time. I did some stuff to it when I first got it. You do your bolt-ons and coilovers and things like that. but it didn't really turn into what it is now until I had a little mishap with a valve.
Okay.
Brand new SuperTech valve decided to leave the chat.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Not the
just
chat.
driving around, just took the motor out. So
Just drove around. Wasn't off a pole.
40 miles an hour, left work, going to the gym, boom, locked it
Oh
up.
man.
So that's when me and my friend Chris decided that we were gonna build the engine. So
Okay.
you know how it is. You go from running a car that's pretty normal, like your Evo, and then if you were to have the engine go again, you're gonna be like, I'm doing everything. Clutch, turbo, this, that, I want to go fast.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do when I was younger. I just wanted to go faster.
Just want to have fun, let it go, let
Yeah.
it rip, get that ego,
Yep.
the inner child out,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. It was I probably wouldn't have built the engine for a long time if it didn't go. But I like the car, and I went, you know what? I don't want to have the fastest car in the world. I want to enjoy it. I love driving. I love hanging out with my friends with it. So, I built it to make more power, and I knew that it was never going to get there.
Right.
And that's kind of been my whole goal leading up to how it is now. Is I want to build it for what it can do, but never really get there. So as much as I want to do with it, it's never really gonna skip a beat.
Right.
And that was my intention. It took a lot of trying and a lot of back and forth, a lot of buying parts over again 2-3 times to find the right combination. But I think where it is now is probably what I envisioned 10-12 years ago. And I think it's finally there. It feels kind of starting to feel right.
So, give me for two things, right? For one, what is favorite thing that you love about your Evo, and two, what is the least favorite thing that you have for the Evo?
I think my favorite thing about it is a combo of, I think, how it looks. I think it's just unique. Other than an STI, which people call Evo's STI. Yeah,
STI.
I know.
Guys are hating
They're
right
still
now.
they're still fun cars though. They are in stock,
Mm-hmm.
But that was the thing that got me. It stood out. The big wing. It just looks funky. A big hole in the hood. But just the way that it drives. I love how it drives. It's analog. It's not crazy traction control. It's not a DSG. Although that would be cool. It doesn't have cruise control. They barely have AC. So it's just fun that I feel like this is starting to get to the end of the era where people that are younger, like our age and stuff, could experience what people did in like the 70s when the car scene really took off with Mustangs and Camaros and Trans Ams and things that were around then, that they were a real car. They needed a big engine. It was raw. There was no power steering. Half of the things didn't even have disc brakes. And I think that as far as technology goes, after you get to the like early 2000s, that's when things start to lose character.
Yeah,
They're fast.
around 2010, after they finished with the Z06 C6
The
Van,
C6, that's an awesome
Dodge
car.
Viper,
Yep.
and the Ford GT. Like
Yeah.
that era to
Yep.
me, and also we can't forget about the German cars like the E90,
Oh, they're
E92
awesome.
M3,
Yeah.
Audi RS4.
Yep.
That era right there to me that I felt stuck in time with.
It was a peak.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
To me, about the community today, what is something that you see in the community that you don't like, or something that you do like but you wish it could be like the old times, because it's just so different now.
It
It's
is.
just not how it was even from 2016. From now, it's so different.
It's a lot different. I think the big difference from cars and the scene and just enjoying them from even, back in the day, 05, 06, 07,
Yeah.
even 2010, 2011, it didn't really change. And it was more about people. It was more about hanging out. You could get on a Friday night or a Saturday night, 20 people was a low amount. So when everybody wanted to do stuff, it was you had to go out, you had to call your friends, you had to meet up.
Yeah.
And I mean, for years and years, I remember leaving from where we are here, going to Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We did that for 10 years straight.
I still gotta go there.
Yeah,
It's awesome going
it
to
was
a car
it was a
show.
blast. But the fun part wasn't almost the car show. The fun part was getting everybody there. We meet up on the edge of the highway, at one of the rest areas. I remember one time 32 cars. So there's 32 people hanging out, coming from all different parts of, where they live, what they do. But everybody loves cars. So they would all meet up. We'd drive there. Everybody would stop at the same time. The hotel was the funnest part afterwards, just hanging out with all your buddies. Um, I think all of that does not happen now. I think
You don't really see that no more.
no.
It's rare, if you get a group of guys that are like this
Yeah.
bonded together, you'll still have that. And if
Yeah.
you see them on YouTube, you might see a little bit of content, but you don't really see that no more.
hmm And I think it's because of the content.
Yeah,
I think it's because everybody that can purchase a car, can buy one that makes them fast, they see other people that do it, the big YouTubers that get famous off of all this, and they lose why they were doing it in the first place.
yeah.
And I get it. It's the nature of the beast. But
Mhm.
what I think it did is it took and this is a field, this is a business, this is a lifestyle for a lot of people that the person to person, us sitting in the garage having a beer, working on a car. I mean, like that's what most of us would love to do every night.
Yeah.
Or Saturday morning you go out, get something to eat, and then do a big drive. Go up like you were saying, the Hawks Nest or up the High Point around here, and and then go somewhere and have fun. But now it's let's just meet up, take a couple pictures, and I just want to be famous online. And I think that's hurt the car shows and stuff a lot too, because you don't have to go places to do things and to get notoriety for this stuff anymore. I think you can sit in your driveway, make a couple videos, make the car look cool, meet up with people here and there, and like you're portraying that you're having fun, but you're losing the essence of
Right.
the tool that got everybody to hang out instead of the car being the star. The car is great. We all have fun. It's what we use to go fast and to work on it and to learn, but it's not fun to do anything by yourself.
No, it's not. I mean, for me, doing YouTube for 4 years now, it's been a up and down roller coaster. I had my ups because the two cars that I had, they both went down,
Yeah, that's tough.
and it was rough. But what I have to say is, I didn't start YouTube with a car,
Mhm.
and that's the thing right now. Like, I don't need a car to show what I would like for everybody to see on my channel.
Mhm.
The reason why I have the channel is because guys like you. Thank you for coming on my first video.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Just to talk about your car, enjoying the culture, what is culture, and showing the younger generation, fix it up, show what we need to bring back,
Mhm.
the happiness, the peace of the car culture,
Mhm.
and just having fun, going different places, because that's how you meet people. I learned that the other day. The dude Joe I met with the RWB
Mhm.
at New York Auto Show, and he was telling me, he's like, doesn't matter what event, big or small, go to it. He said the only way they're gonna know you is for you to be everywhere.
Yeah.
You have to be
Yep.
recognized, and you have to just talk with everybody, treat everybody fairly,
Yeah.
because you never know who you're gonna run into.
You don't. You don't. You're just because you have a cooler car or you have more followers doesn't mean you're better than somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
That might not be their intentions. Just because you don't have the fastest car, the nicest paint, the most followers, maybe that's just not what you want. Maybe you want to have different things in life. That's fine. That's fine for everybody. You could tell from your channel, because you're friends and you're involved. Like it's fun. It's fun. You can see that you're having fun. It's not like got to get it to be cool. No, you're just you and the boys hanging out.
That's it.
That's the way it's got to be. We got to bring it back.
Yeah, bringing it back, it's gonna take some time, but having barbecues or just going to somebody's house and having a barbecue, having the cars all outside, that was the goal.
Yeah.
Because we used to come home, us as boys, we would get the bikes, get the BMX, the mongooses. Everybody's bikes are all outside, meet up, and then now everybody wants to revert that to cars.
You go from the grass to the park to the driveway. Yep.
Exactly. So yeah. All right. So enough said. Let's talk about the car. So what was your first mod? First one.
So it's gonna be either the test pipe because I want it to be louder, the short route intercooler with the blow-off valve,
Mm-hmm.
because this had more of that like stock style because it had the big battery in the way, or it was the stock replacement tubular manifold, like the tubular manifold.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I think it was like a Megan Racing one from way back in the day.
Megan Racing.
Yeah. So it was the cheapest one, and I thought it looked coolest at first. I think that might have been the first bolt-on thing, other than just some little things here and there.
So, what do you got here on this engine bay? Looks like you got a lot of stuff done. Stock
Yeah.
block or built block?
It is a built block.
Okay.
It is a long rod engine, a little bit higher compression. It's about 10-to-1. So it's rods and pistons, Turbo Tough, Wiseco, GSC drive valve train,
Mm-hmm.
ARP studs. Obviously, you got to do those.
ARP head studs, man.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with ARP head studs.
The rest of it inside is pretty much stock. They don't really need much
Okay.
for what this is, what this is doing.
All right. So let's see. You got Sheepy Race. Not a lot of people get that, but I do see some Evo guys
No.
do. But what made you get Sheepy Race instead of ETS or some other brand?
It was cheaper.
Really?
That's the only reason why. Yeah.
Wow.
If I were to go back in time now, I'd probably do like Morrison Fab or ETS or something like that. I would definitely get a new one. This one had a little bit of a weird fitment issue with the turbo. It sticks a little farther out than I would like. That's what made me get that. It works. No cracks. It's been on the car for almost 10 years now.
I was always a fan. I always loved how the sheep looked on the car.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's fancy. It's a little bougie. I see you got the hood exit. What makes you want to get a hood exit?
Well, I did that because there's no room underneath.
Mm.
Yeah, if you look in here,
Other than that, I got
I
so
mean,
much room.
this is a smaller radiator than stock right now.
Okay. What radiator is this?
This is out of like I think it's like a 2001 Mirage or something.
Really?
Like that. Yeah.
You got it out of Mirage?
It was just something I could find at the time because the big goofy radiator that I had in there before was hitting the turbo. Okay. So I didn't want to ruin the radiator, so I got a little bit smaller one. Now I have one coming that's going to be a little bit smaller. That's going to be a lot more efficient than the older one.
So, and from the looks of it looks like you got precision.
Yep. Yeah, precision gates. So they're precision. Turbo's precision.
What size turbo is it?
6266.
6266.
Yep, Gen 2.
Okay. Why did you get precision instead of maybe a Garrett turbo? A lot of people do Garrett as well.
Yeah. Truthfully, I think they're both probably in the same ballpark with each other as far as quality and how the power is made.
Right.
Nowadays, I think you could pick either or, because the newer Garretts and even the newer Precisions that they make, they're right there with each other on both of them. So,
so
it was really just
par to par.
Yeah, my friend Chris that built the car for me, he runs out in his Supra. My other friend that has a automatic drag Supra, he has Precision.
Okay.
All the other cars that we've built, the Civics, everything that's came out of his shop has always had a Precision on it, and I've never seen a car that he has built have one fail.
What's the best advice that you could give somebody that's building, let's say, obviously any car, but just an Evo? Because, there's different tricks with Evo 8s especially.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of tricks. It depends on where the car is going. What I mean by that is this a going to work? Is this a weekend? Make a little bit of power and that's about it. Is this going to be caged? Are you trying to go to World Cup and win a class?
Right.
You got to figure out what you're going to do, and that will put you into what direction you're going to go with these. Truthfully, I think these cars with a stock engine with some cams and an FP red, smaller Precision like a 57, something like that, I think it keeps the car in its essence of how it handles, how the power comes on.
Yeah.
When you get to this point, the one thing, the drawback in this car is, if you're not in the right gear, we're sitting on the road for 20 minutes until it spools up.
Right.
That's probably the one thing I don't like about them at all. If it's not in power, there is nothing really. That's the part that kind of stinks sometimes.
All right. As far as the maintenance work on this car, how much work did you actually do to the car?
Everything is either me or my buddy Chris.
Okay.
He's the brains behind everything that I want to do. I run it by him because I trust what he's going to tell me.
Right.
If it's not him or me, there's really nobody else that's been in the car touching it since I've owned it.
Yeah, and I see in the back, other than the hood exit, you got the Tomei exhaust as well.
Yep.
So, how much power are you pushing right now?
The way that it sits, mid 30 pounds of boost, makes about 600 horse.
Okay. Wow.
It's like 500 foot-pounds of torque.
And suspension-wise, what do you got? The teen coilovers you got here?
So they're Fortunato.
Oh, Fortunato.
I actually won my coilovers in a raffle, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so JDC Customs, the guy that I got almost all of my titanium from,
Okay.
he was doing a raffle for it, and I think it was like $20. I did it.
And you just won them.
He calls me and he's like, "Hey, you got a set of coilovers?" I'm like, "Sweet." So got to pick the spring rate that I wanted. Fortunato made them, and that's been in the car since. Ride's pretty good.
How long ago was this?
It's probably about 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been there for a little bit.
All right. Well, I think we had enough talking here. Let's get in the interior.
You'll notice that a little bit. Looks a little familiar to you.
Man, every time I look in this car, it just gives OEM plus.
Yeah, that's really all I did.
Nice steering wheel too.
I wrapped the steering wheel. I didn't feel like getting one of those goofy carbon ones that they look great in the newer cars, but I just feel like they stick out too much in the older ones. So
Yeah, you don't want nothing that sticks out too much. Like, you could tell this is like new, but it gives the OEM plus look. So
Yeah.
it doesn't throw you off entirely.
Yep.
I see the nice little carbon fiber you got up here. Nice carbon fiber trim all around.
Yep, it's carbon trim.
And it just hollow little race car. You know,
Yeah.
That's all it is, man.
I got my Evo 10 seats that you're sitting in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're
nice.
used to sitting in those
Smells
things.
good in here. What car freshener do you use?
Obsessed Garage.
Obsessed.
I use the leather scent that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you got your tree, your peachy peach, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody's got their own scent.
And do you like the 5-speed on the highway? And is it really drony on the highway with the 5-speed, or is it nice and low?
It's the older I get, the more drony I think it gets.
Mm.
So I don't know if that's just me being old or if it got louder after building it. It's not terrible.
Okay.
You know, these things are not geared to be on the highway going 150 anyway.
Right.
So if you're trying to do 80 in this, it gets a little drony. But if you're driving at normal speeds, it's not really that bad.
Right. And that's funny. We go from wanting to be lighter to be faster, and now we want it to be fit and flush to be calmer and cooler.
Yeah.
Smoother is more the word. Smoother.
And you'll notice that the older you get and your car buddies, they're going to be the same way.
Yeah.
Our parents were probably the same way too.
Okay.
You know, you got some people that are diehard racers, you know.
Yeah.
If that's what you're doing, that's awesome. We don't have tracks around here. I don't have the time, you know, so I'd rather enjoy the car more and be able to drive it back and forth everywhere I'm going.
Everybody says seat time is more important.
Seat time is more important.
And now, we heard all about it. We got to see some action. You ready to take a ride?
Yeah, let's go, man.
I'm not gonna lie, the Evo 8, this is actually my first Evo 8 actually driven fasted. So, other than like the 10s, I drove fast 10s, but as far as an 8, this is the first ever Evo 8 that I driven really fasted. Fastest Evo 8 ever anyway.
Okay.
So.
At least I got the title somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta have the title eventually, you know what I mean? And so, every car has its own title, you know what I mean? But honestly, man, thank you for coming out doing this video for me. It's the first ever video I got. Really appreciate your help,
Glad to
bro.
help out.
And I just want to ask you, are you stuck in time?
Oh yeah.
I know. Peace.